Boom. All right, guys, we are live. It is the first official Monday of quarter four of 2021. We've had our first weekend. We're having our first Monday. This is really such an important step to the year. Guys, if you want to turn your cameras on, just so I know that you're there, I know that you're attentive. Really, today's call is going to be good. Honestly, it's a training that I've done multiple times, but I think it's a training that needs to be reheard multiple times because it's a reminder of what it takes to go exactly where each and every single one of us want to go. And so before we get into that, let's get into a couple things, guys. I hope each and every single one of you, with some of the questions that I sent at the end of last month, were able to reflect. You were able to look at, okay, what have I done this quarter? What have I done this year? Am I in alignment with where I want to go? Where do I need to, pivot? Where do I need to shift? Because if we're not working with a direction, we're not working with an angle in mind, we're just mindlessly doing things, right? We become more active than we become productive. A lot of the times we have distractions. We don't feel like we're getting as much as we want to accomplish. And it's simply just because we don't know actually what we're working towards, right? We don't know what we're working towards. And so if you haven't done that yet, if you haven't done your planner, if you don't know your goals for the quarter, if you don't know what your priorities look like, if you're not having to before this call, I'm really, really tired right now. So I knew, okay, before this call, I did the prepping, I did the training. I was like, all right, this is what I want to talk about. But I already planned out my day tomorrow. So after this call, I can do my reading and then I'm going to lay down. And so always knowing what does the next day look like? What does the future look like? So that not only do you have an intention, but you can work that intention with intensity. And so guys, today's training is going to be not too technical. I mean, there might be a little technical to it, but we're really going to be talking about the mindset of a chairman, right? The mindset of a chairman, and not even more so the mindset, but the characteristics required to get to that level. One thing that I believe is that chairman is not necessarily a rank. One thing that I really fell in love with was that word specifically, not because of, the amount of money that you get paid or not because of anything specific, but it was because who did I have to become to be called that kind of person? I think that's the biggest thing for me is who do you have to become that person? I look at professional athletes and I'm like, what did they have to do to get to that level? Like, what was the sacrifice? What was the daily method of operation? What was their mindset? Like, what did, they have to give up? Like, there's so much behind when you reach, I would say, an exclusive or a top tier rank or a top tier position in this world. And so I personally think there's 5 characteristics, right? There's 5 characteristics that separate someone from being average to going next level. And this is the same thing. Like, you could really apply what I'm going to teach you today to anything in life. You could apply this in your relationship. You could apply this in your business that you have outside of this. You can apply this to trading. You can really apply this to anything. And I think if you have these 5 characteristics, and at the end of this call, you look at the notes that you take and you say, okay, where am I really, really good? And where do I need to grow? Because a lot of times it's that one little thing that you're missing that's stopping you from going and hitting P6, stopping you from going to hit P1, stopping you from passing FTMO or whatever it may be. These are going to change the game for you. And so what did we do last week? Last week, we talked about the 7, it was like the 7 fundamentals of network marketing. Today, we're going to talk about the 5 characteristics. So write this at the top, right? Write this at the top, the 5 characteristics of a chairman. Right? The 5 characteristics of the chairman. And so I'm going to go through these a little bit slow. Maybe some will be longer than others, but I really want you to understand that this is simple, right? So if this is one of my shorter trainings, just don't be like, oh, it must have not been that important. No, it's simple. I talk to a lot of leaders and they're like, okay, what do we need to duplicate? Like, what do I need to do for my team? I was talking to actually one of the chairman leaders in our organization, and he's like, what do I have to do to go next level? And I said, listen, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing, right? The simple things. It's not creating this massive whiteboard and saying, okay, we have to do this. And if we do these things, then this is going to happen. It's the simple things that honestly gets us the results. And I said, listen, if you can duplicate these 3 things into your team, you're going to have a team that's not only getting results, you're going to have a team that's retained, but you're going to have a team that's growing. I said, you have to make sure your team's reading, make sure your team's plugged in, and make sure your team's exposing. If you do those 3 things. If I end the call right now and you just write personal development, system, expose, and you do those 3 things every single day, and you teach someone on your team how to do those 3 things every single day, I promise you, your retention is going to increase, your team's results are going to increase, and your business is going to increase as well. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Maybe a training for another day. So I want to talk about the 5 characteristics of a chairman. I'm gonna move my notes out the way and make sure I turn my notifications off. Everything's going a little crazy here. Cool. So characteristic number 1, independent and dependable, right? Independent and dependable. A lot of the times we talk about becoming independent traders, right? Or becoming independent investors or independent, whatever. We want to have this feeling of self-efficiency. We want to know that we're able to do this on our own, right? But I think the real success happens when you go from dependent to independent to dependable, right? When people can rely on you, when someone says, hey, can you do this call for me? And you show up. When you tell them you're going to send them that audiobook and you send it. When you tell someone, hey, you hit my phone up any part of the day, I'm going to respond to you, you respond, right? In order to go chairman, people have to know that you are a dependable leader. You are a dependable person, someone that they can actually follow. Right now, this is going to take time. If you're brand new, you may not be a dependable leader. You may have to depend on other people, but that's okay. Right? That's okay. It's okay to say, hey, I'm really, really good here, but I'm struggling other places. Where you're dependable, really focus on that strength. Here's another big thing, right? Chairmen with this characteristic, they create a culture that develops this. I heard that quote. I remember it in at SummerSlam. What's his name? C100. Oh no, I'm forgetting. I don't remember. Beyond the point, he says, anytime that you do something for someone else that they can do themselves, you're actually hurting them. Justin Owens, thank you. You're actually hurting them. And so you want to create a culture that develops independency, that develops people to become dependable. You have to set this expectation in the beginning. A lot of times people struggle in this area because in the beginning, the expectation wasn't set. And I don't want to how do I say this? I want to talk to you guys as leaders, right? I want to talk to you guys if you already have the organization size that you want to have. You're on this call, so you're obviously looking to become a leader. You're looking to grow in whatever that area may be. When someone gets started with you, you have to set this expectation from day one. I tell people all the time, listen, I can't study for you. I can't do the trades for you, but I'm going to be there to help guide you on where you need to go. So if you're ever confused, right? If you ever don't know what's next, just ask. And I tell people all the time. This is one of my favorite phrases to say. Yes, it's more tedious for me to do more calls with you, but I know if I show you how this works, you're going to be able to pass this on to the next person. I always talk about that in my launch calls. The reason why I do that is because I want people to understand they're not going to be dependent forever. There's going to become a phase in their career where other people are depending on them. Number 2, chairmen are problem solvers. Guys, we have to remember that leadership, right? Leadership is the highest paid profession in the world because leaders solve problems, right? Look at people who are making the most money in the world outside of investing, right? Outside of investing, right? They solve people's problems. That's it. That's it. Like Amazon. Right? We have Apple. We have any drop a company. I can give an example of how they're solving problems in the world. Companies that blow up quickly solve problems. And so as a leader, do you know how to operate the back office? Do you know how to get to the tools and resources? Do you know how to help people with support issues? Where to go for support tickets? Right? Do you know how to answer questions? Problem solving, I honestly think this is probably one that I do really, really well with. I do really, really well in this one. I have a lot of people that come, hey, Tim, I have this problem. Awesome. Boom. Here's the solution. Here's another thing. Is your mindset 595? And what I mean by that is when a problem occurs into your life, is that problem 5% of your mindset or 95% of your mindset? I just actually had my Axis account hacked, right? I lost like all the AXS, Ethereum, the SLP. Yeah, I lost 3 teams, like 6 weeks worth of work, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars gone in an instant. And I had to sit back and ask myself, am I going to focus more on what happened? Or am I going to focus on what's the next step so I can save my other 7 teams, so I can save the SLP that I need to claim when I'm able to claim the SLP for their work? So what did I do? The first person I called, Mike. Mike was busy. He couldn't talk. Okay, awesome. I'm calling Jordan Morgan. Jordan Morgan gave me a solution. He said, for this part, you need to call Zachary Hogan. I was instantly focused on a solution. Okay, someone leaves your business. Are you going to focus on someone leaving your business? Or are you going to focus on maybe how you can get better at launching? Or how you can get better at serving? Or maybe how you can get better at sorting and organizing and understanding that not everyone wants to build. Not everyone wants to do Forex. Not everyone wants to do options. Right? So do you know how to solve people's problems? Remember, when we're introducing this company to people, and I'm just letting my brain flow, by the way, like whatever I'm thinking, I'm throwing at y'all, right? So when we're introducing this to people, remember, we're solving people's problems. People join this industry for one of 2 reasons. They don't have enough time or they don't have enough money. That's it. Obviously, there's a trickle-down effect, but they're between those 2 reasons. They don't have enough time to do things or spend time with their family or fill in the blank, or they don't have enough money, so they're not able to get out of their current situation. And so can you take someone's problem and solve it with the platform that we have, right? Chairmen know how to problem solve. Number 3, consistent. Consistent. This is one of the 2 key things I learned from Jason Brown the first time I ever met him in person, right? Jason Brown, Matt Rose, and Alex Bourne did my closing call. The company was so small back then. I had 3 of them on my closing call. I didn't even know who these people were, right? Matt Rosa was looking crazy. Alex Bourne, he looked all professional at the time. And Jason, I'm like, man, we kind of look alike. So I remember learning from them, obviously online. But the first real lesson that I learned from Jason Brown in person was, number 1, to be consistent. And number 2, to never stop showing up. And I think the consistent thing is really, really funny because each and every single one of us is consistent. Like we are. Like the real question is, like, what are we consistent in? What are we consistent in? You guys know, like, I pretty much do the same trainings over and over and over and over again. Why? Because they work. I stay consistent in things that work. Ask yourself, are you consistent in productivity or consistent in activity? Are you consistent in self-sabotage, or are you consistent in growth? Because we're all consistent, but what are we consistent in? I just talked about 3 things that you can do every single day at the beginning of this call. Some of you didn't even write it down. I gave you the secret to this business. That's the secret. Do those 3 things every single day. You're going to win the game. You're going to win the game. And number 2, we talked about never stop showing up. How many of this call still haven't got their Houston tickets? Guys, trust me, I've seen the information more than anyone on this call. I've been to more events than anyone on this call. But when someone that I aspire to be says these are the 2 most important things that you can do, stay consistent and never stop showing up, I'm not going to stop doing those things till I have what I want. Until I have what I want. And C750, honestly, I could really care less about that. I'll be honest with you. What I care about is the fact that Jason has become a level 5 leader, I think a pinnacle leader in my opinion, is helping over 200,000 people and has so many, I think he's like really, really close to equating outside of trading. I'm not talking about trading, in other businesses and other investments outside of crypto and trading, all that, what he's making as a Chairman 750. All because he remained consistent and never stopped showing up. Add that one. Consistent, never stop showing up. I'm making that note right now. Consistent and never stop showing up. Boom. It's been added to the channel. Number 4. All right, so remember what I said. Number 1, independent and dependable. Independent and dependable. Actually, I want to go back to this. I forgot to talk about this. This is one, I think, the biggest things that makes the difference between someone who's dependent and independent is I feel like a lot of people are waiting for Mike and Tim to say something for you to go do something. You're waiting for us to show up to throw an event. You're waiting for us to, drop a Zoom for you to promote. Like, guys, like you can't wait on us. You can't wait on us. Here's where you got to have this fine, like teeter-totter, is you have to respect us enough to follow, but also be hungry enough to say, I'm going to fire you and surpass you. That's what I did with my mentor. Cash will tell you, I fired Cash a long time ago. He was obviously going through some things in his life, but if I said, hey, well, Cash is going through some hard problems right now, I'm just going to stop doing the business for a year and a half, and I'll wait till he comes back to start building again. I don't think I'd be where I'm at today. What if I go through something? What if I need to take 3 months away from this business? Would you pause? Here's another thing. What if I quit this business? Would you quit? If the answer is, if you didn't answer no right away, it probably means you don't own your own business. You're probably in mine. Imagine that. Like you being so gung-ho about this business, your mentor quit, so you quit too. The guy who signed me up is no longer in the business. The guy who signed him up is no longer in the business. But what if I quit because they quit too? All right, independent and dependable. Number 2, problem solver. You got to help people solve their problems, man. I'm telling you, the more problems you solve, the more money you make, and the more opportunity that's going to come into your life. I promise you, become a problem solver. Number 3, remain consistent every single day. What should you be consistent in? Growing your mind, growing your account, and growing your business. Personal development, plugging into the system, and exposing 2 people a day, and then never stop showing up. Number 4, you have to have a big vision. And honestly, I think this is one of the most important ones. Like this really has to be one of the most important ones, because you have to not only have a big vision for you, but be able to have a big vision for other people. Guys, like great leadership, like really great leaders are able to paint the vision. This is why I think Matt Rosa is so good. He's completely different than Jay. They're completely different people. But Matt is so good at painting the vision. Jason is so good at being a problem solver. Matt's like, oh, a problem? Jason will take it. Jason's got that. When it comes to painting the next 12 months, Matt's got that down. He knows exactly what to say, exactly how to do it. Like, really think about it. Like, have you ever been around someone and they're just like low energy? And then you're around someone who's like a visionary type of person, someone who's really high energy, someone who is really optimistic about the future. Who would you rather be around? You're going to want to be around the person with the big vision, right? You have to have a vision for you. You have to have a vision for your team. You have to have a vision for the company. Like, I have an individual vision outside of what IAM's vision is. Like, to me, like, IAM is one of the best funding vehicles in the world. Like, I've never seen an opportunity, and I've seen a lot of opportunities. Mike and I have both been offered a lot of different deals, and I've never seen anything like this. Like, this is the one place where we have people joining, and I got to be careful I say this because recording. Like, you guys see what's happening in the DCX chat? We have people joining and they're flipping these stupid little comic books and paying for their yearly membership in their first 3 days. We have people learning how to use Hourglass in their first 72 hours and making a little bit of money. They're seeing returns. We have experienced traders who are coming to this platform, watching the bounce back course, watching the Trade House educators, and saying, I've wasted 5 years of my life because everything I've learned, I have to unlearn. Our Latin American teams, like our U.S. teams, really, I'm going to be honest, y'all aren't taking advantage of it like you should be. The ECX side and our Latin American squads are killing it. They're absolutely murdering it. Right? Like, man, like there is nothing better than what we have. When stocks, futures, and options launch at the convention in November, game over. I've been waiting for this one. I've been waiting for this one because not like you think I'm going to be talking to 20-year-olds? Get out of here. I'm going to be talking to people with a lot of money, with big networks. Once we launch that one, the floodgates are going to open because now we have a whole new group of people to target. I'm painting the vision for y'all right now. You see what I'm doing? Guys, like you really understand, like Amway is the #1 network marketing company in the world for products. I Am Mastery Academy is becoming the same exact thing, but for financial literacy. Like if there's going to be a way to make money online, I promise you, we will have the best education. We will have the best mentorship. We will have the best tools and resources. We will have the best community. And no matter who you are in the world, you will have an equal opportunity as anyone else. No matter your background, no matter your income, no matter your religion, no matter what you look like, there's an equal opportunity for you here. Right? So you have to have a vision. I remember I was so frustrated yesterday for a little bit. And I was talking to Mike. Like you guys don't understand. Like yesterday, I was vibrating like I was like, I own the world. I was having such a good day yesterday. Like yesterday couldn't get better. It was just such a good day. And then I go on my computer to go look, what was I doing? To go create accounts because I'm helping someone launch their stuff for Axes. And I'm like, where's my SLP? Where's my Ethereum? Why are none of my things on the marketplace? What's going on right now? Like, and I was like sitting there, and I was so mad, so frustrated. I couldn't believe it. And I called Mike and I said, you know what, man? Like, I'm just going to borrow from the future. My C750 self is laughing at me right now. But because I have such a vision for myself, even a setback like that, like it's a lot of money lost instantly that you can't get back. That I'll never get back. I mean, I will 10x, obviously, right? But that money, that specific tangible thing, I'll never get back. But if I didn't have the vision casted every single day, that could have destroyed me. I could have said, you know what? Fuck Axes. Frick, my bad, man. I'm trying to get better elsewhere. Frick Axes. Frick all these people. I'm just going to go sell all my stuff and take my money back. I'm going to go invest in something else. But even with an Axes, I've created a vision for what I personally want to do. Like I have a big vision, what I can do, literally helping people in other countries create income when it comes to doing donations, when it comes to doing fun. Like I have such a big vision for this project. Right? So you have to be able to paint the vision for yourself. You have to be able to paint the vision for other people. And if that's something where you're struggling with, go find someone that can. Go find someone that can. I promise you, your vision will increase as your belief increases. Number 5. This is a really big one. This is a really, 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 really big one. Write this down. Taking massive action creates massive action. Taking massive action creates massive action. I remember when I first started touring, when I first started getting around chairman, you know, I was a P1, P2, and I would go on tour and, you know, I was hanging out with these guys and girls and I would watch them work. And I was so uncomfortable. I remember I used to tell Mike Miles this. I love coming to Dallas because every time I stay at your house, I sign up so many people. And he was saying, it's not because you're here. It's because you see everyone else around you doing something. Therefore, now you're actually doing something. I always laugh at a lot of people that post like 500 stories a day on Instagram because I'm like, what do you do during the day? Like, you're really not doing anything. Guys, remember, personal momentum is what creates group momentum. I always say it's like people are like, oh, well, my business isn't growing. When's the last time you signed someone up? My team's not plugging in. When's the last time you plugged in and talked about it? Right? You have chairmen take massive action. They understand that this is not a $275 a month subscription. This is $1 million business. Legitly, a chairman 10 brings $1.04 million a year at minimum of revenue to IM. 377 elites, 500 platinum packages is $1.04 million in revenue to IM. You have $1 million business. Guys, were any of those 5 things hard? I don't think so. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part, is that we think like we think to get success, like there's things that we have to do that aren't easy. It's like we have to freaking have a blood sacrifice in order to go chairman. No, it's like you just do the little things every single day. You become a dependable person. You help people solve their problems. You're consistent and you continue to show up. You have a big vision for where you're going and you take massive action. I promise you, if you look at any chairman in our organization, not just in Prime, but in IM as a whole, all 650 of them, we're approaching that 1,000 chairman mark. We're getting there, right? We're going to get there. It's going to be done. It already is done. They have all those things. Every single chairman I can think of in my head has those things, because it's impossible to build a team of 377 plus people without being a dependable human being, without being able to help people solve their problems, without being able to plug in every single day, without being able to paint the vision, without taking massive action. It's impossible. It is impossible to go there if you don't have those things, right? So guys, I want to talk about, I hope this training was beneficial. I really hope, I'm so glad I turned my notifications off because this went crazy. I'm so glad. Where is this information at? Drop a 7 in the chat if you guys thought this was beneficial. If you thought that you learned something new and you're going to go apply it. So guys, we have a couple of trainings. There's 2 things I want to talk about. Go into the primetime chat and promote this stuff. Tell your team about it, right? Tuesday night, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. Yeah, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We have Chairman 750, Jason Brown. All right, we have Jason Brown tomorrow night. Wednesday night, we have Crypto Picasso, the founder of DCX, talking about the future of crypto, the future of DCX, where the platform is going, right? Not only where the platform is going, but where he sees cryptos going as a whole. Guys, a lot of like, Mike kind of been, I get a little, like I ask him, I'm like, yo, what are y'all working on? And what they're working on is super, super exciting. Thursday, Chi 100, John Guaman talking about the fundamentals of this industry. Friday, October 8th, we're having an HFX training with Brandon Boyd, right? Chairman 100, Chairman 100 and one of the most viewed HFX educators. So put that into your schedule this week. Put that into your calendar. Plug into these calls. Remember, a lot of people say, well, they're always like, oh, well, calls are only activities, right? Like you're not really doing anything productive. You're 50% right, 50% wrong, right? Hopping on a call, it is an activity. It's not income producing, but it's the information that you learn on these calls that allow you to go do those IPAs, those income producing activities, right? So when you hop on these calls, really set an intention and walk away with an action. Every time you hop on a call, like this is something that I'm really big on. Like I was so frustrated because the cash call and the Matt Rosa call yesterday is when my account got hacked. And so I knew I turned the Zoom off and I had to focus on this, but I'm getting the recording for that because I had the intention to take that information. That's the first ever I'm Next call. That call right there sets the tone for the future. And the action I wanted to take from it was to promote it to all my leaders and talk to them how they felt about that call, right? So have an intention and always leave with an action. Number 3, guys, Houston is 30 days away. We're in the process right now of determining whether we're going to do hotels or we're going to do Airbnbs, what we want to do with that. The leaders are deciding. Obviously, we always give our leaders the opportunity to, lead. They know their team better than we do. Get your tickets. If you're in the Midwest right now, like round trip flights are like under $100. If you're in Texas, it's 4 hours away. Get a car. right? If you're in the Beast Coast, I think y'all are driving. Y'all always drive. Y'all like rent a bus and y'all go on like a magic school bus trip every single, y'all are crazy, right? I don't know how y'all do it, but that's your culture. Enjoy that. I'm flying. But beyond the point, get that flight, get that ticket. Trust me, because as it gets closer, it's going to continue. Tickets are going to run out. It just is what it is. Don't wait last minute and say, oh, well, I'll just hope someone resell. Get the ticket, put it on the credit card, ask if, if you can borrow money, whatever it may be, but get the ticket, make the commitment. This is the first event that's going to be back from, like, we literally have not had an IM event since March of 2020. A year and a half. IM hasn't thrown an event. So they're going to go next level with this one. I'm super excited about it. I'm excited for the guest speakers. I'm excited for the Go Live Day on Friday. I think Go Live Day is going to be super lit. I'm super excited for the crypto side of that, and all the presentations and things that they're doing, especially with NFTs, and crypto gaming and things that they're releasing. For some of you, this is your first event. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So guys, I hope today's call was beneficial. Make sure to check out Prime Time. I'll drop this recording in there. Love you guys. If you need anything, I'm always a message away. And I'll see you guys very shortly.